Hello and welcome to Clay Pigeon Kart Club on the 7th of May 2022. It's day one of the Wessex Challenge and first up is the juniors. That's right, 2 days of racing in store for the Formula Blues at Clay Pigeon Kart Club this weekend, both going towards the Wessex Championship. Day one, however, began with a qualifying session, which was topped by Sam Mitchell, nearly 2 tenths ahead of Jamie Bradfield and Rhys Reed in third. Jamie Dart and Rudy Winslow Morton would round out those competing on Saturday. The qualification session would lead into a heat, which was started on pole and won by Sam Mitchell. Rhys Reed running in close, only 2 tenths behind in second place, ahead of Jamie Dart and Rudy Winslow Morton. And some problems for Jamie Bradfield forced him in early, so that would mean he would then start at the back of the pre-final, which likewise is won by Sam Mitchell, ahead of Rhys Reed, Jamie Dart, Rudy Winslow Morton, and again more trouble to Bradfield. He would have to come in. The result of the pre-final would be the grid for the final here this afternoon, so that is the order of which they're lining up. So Sam Mitchell on pole, Rhys Reed alongside, as you can see, Jamie Dart ahead of us in the number 4 in third spot, ahead of Rudy Winslow Morton and Jamie Bradfield, making up the 5-strong contingent for the Junior Blue final of the Wessex Challenge. As round top then we go, keep an eye on Mitchell, keep an eye on Reed. And they've gone very early and it's a very even start between the top two. If anything, Rhys Reed with a hair in front across the line going down into Billy's blind, and Reed trying to hang on around the outside against Sam Mitchell. They're going to go up into the chicane and Mitchell's going to sweep down the inside and retake the lead ahead of Rhys Reed, Jamie Dart and Jamie Bradfield, now up into 4th spot. And now on board with Bradfield as he's going to go down the inside into the hand hairpin against Jamie Dart, and that is Bradfield now up into 3rd. For the top two still bumper to bumper, then it's Bradfield, Dart and Rudy Winslow Morton as they go around buttons and up towards top bend. Rhys Reed looking all over the back of Sam Mitchell as they come around to complete the first lap. 12 minutes plus a lap in store for the juniors this race as Rhys Reed taking a little peek down into Billy's blind. But for now, slotting in behind Sam Mitchell. Jamie Bradfield there just a kart length or 2 behind, ahead of Jamie Dart. And Rudy Winslow Morton starting to slip back as they go down the Sturmey straight. You can see that top 3 still nose to tail. Rhys Reed to the inside against Sam Mitchell. In the horseshoe, he's still there on exit, but he's on the wrong side for buttons, and Sam Mitchell's going to sweep back in front as they head up now into top bend. The order still as it was. Mitchell, Reed, Bradfield down to start another lap. And across the line they go, fastest lap rebroken, currently held by Bradfield in 3rd spot. Jamie Dart trying to keep up in 4th spot, and it seems like Winslow Morton is starting to fall back. Through the chicane they go, and you see that Winslow Morton very tail happy, clearly going out there, saving that good rubber for tomorrow where the championship points are on the line. As round the horseshoe and up through buttons we go again. On board with Bradfield, number 2 in front of us is Rhys Reed, and ahead of him is Sam Mitchell leading the way. 4 tenths separate them at the line last time by, and across the line they go again, now only 3 tenths, and the fastest lap again rebroken 3 times. Each driver there going below the fastest lap of the race, set previously by Bradfield and now reset by Bradfield. Now up the Sturmey straight we go. Looks like Rhys Reed trying to get up underneath Sam Mitchell on exit. That's going to put him on the wrong side for the horseshoe, and Jamie Bradfield had a little think about it, but he bounced off the curb. Nothing doing as it stands up into pit bend one more time. And there go the leaders. With Jamie Dart in 4th spot, still in frame, and across the line we go again. Mitchell, Reed and Bradfield. Only 2.5 minutes gone. It's been a very intense start to this race. And through the chicane we go yet again. Hopping back on board with Bradfield, Rhys Reed with a little look over his shoulder, clearly feeling concerned about what's behind him. He's in a difficult spot where he has to both defend as well as attack. Sam Mitchell just got to put his kart in all the right places and then got to make Rhys Reed work for it. And Jamie Bradfield purely has to think about attacking there in 3rd spot at the back of the queue. The round pit bend we go and across to start another lap. Into Billy's blind, you can see there the back end of all 3 karts starting to get a bit wobbly. Through the chicane we go, up the Sturmey straight. Bradfield again re-breaks the fastest lap of the race. First into the 35.9s of all of these 3. Although Mitchell and Reed only 1/100th separated each other. as we go up through buttons yet again. Still nose to tail. And now on the way out of pit bend, coming down to cross the line. 8.5 minutes left on the clock as we go into Billy's blind. Seems like Sam Mitchell's pulled a few feet against Reese Reed. Now Jamie Bradfield tucked in tight behind against the number 2. But look at that, it seems like Reese Reed might be quicker through the infield section there as that gap is back disappeared against Sam Mitchell. Bumper to bumper as one between the 3 of them. Round pit bend, good exit from all 3, and they're going to run line astern, using as much of the slipstream as they can, and again all 3 of them within a tenth of each other on that last time by. Only a quarter of a second separating all 3 at the line. Up the Sturmy Straight they go once more. Round the hand hairpin and down into the horseshoe. It seems like Reed does have a little bit better exit, but he keeps going a bit tight, and that sets him up for the wrong side round the horseshoe. But now up into pit bend we go again. All 3 as one. Looks like Bradfield having a little think about looking at Reed into Billy's blind, but he's not going to close the gap up enough around the kink. And Sam Mitchell still holds the lead. But Reed and Bradfield starting to look like that's going to be the battle. And in goes Reese Reed, a little bit deep. Bradfield looking to get the exit, but no avail there. Sam Mitchell set his personal best on the last time by, you can see there on the timing tower. So it seems like Mitchell starting to try and snap the elastic back to Reese Reed. And across the line we go once again. And again, all 3 of them evenly matched. Reese Reed's going to run a little bit wide. Bradfield has another think about it into the chicane, but backs out of it. Now down the Sturmy Straight we go once again. Still 3 as 1. And the gap is opening up to the 2 drivers behind. And now Reese Reed again right onto the back bumper. Sam Mitchell definitely pulling time through the infield compared to Mitchell. And all 3 drivers have a different purple sector as down across the start line we go once again. Bradfield thinks about it into Billy's blind, but nothing doing there. Seems like Sam Mitchell's opening that gap up a little bit down the straight and Reed pulling it back in the infield section. And Jamie Bradfield all over the back of Reese Reed. Now we're having to think about going down the inside into the horseshoe. Nothing happening there, and Bradfield ends up losing time going over the curb. Round buttons and up in towards top bend. Mitchell, Reed and Bradfield. This is about the most distance we've seen them have between each other this race so far. And across the line, lap 11 in the books as round Billy's blind we go and through the chicane. Looks like those gaps are beginning to eke open at the moment. Although we have seen Reed close the gap to Mitchell on this section of the track pretty much every time the gap has gotten opened. There's Jamie Dart in 4th spot, still cracking on. Now we hop on board once again with Bradfield. Round top bend, Reese Reed ahead of us. Going to start to get a little bit bigger. It looks like Bradfield quick in a straight line, and certainly has the quickest sector 3 of all 3 of these, well, of everyone in the race at the moment. Through the chicane once more, and you can see Reese Reed visibly closer than he was at top bend. And the gap between Reed and Mitchell starting to open up, it seems like. Jamie Bradfield right on the back bumper as they go through buttons and up in towards top bend once again. Bradfield takes it slightly tighter and he's going to get the run on exit. Going to move out of the slipstream and look to go down the inside into Billy's blind, but he's not far enough up alongside. Although Reese Reed does push in quite deep. Now through the chicane. Oh, and that's a problem. That's a problem for Reese Reed. He's slowing down. And he's ground to a halt. Reese Reed out of the final here of the Wessex Challenge. What a shame, because those 3 were evenly matched. It would have been a fantastic race. There's Jamie Dart. He's going to be moving past Reese Reed, who's getting his kart into a safe position for 3rd spot. But that's changed the dynamic as Sam Mitchell set another fastest lap for himself on the last 2 times by. He's now got 2 seconds back to Jamie Bradfield in second spot. The other Mac Minarelli as they go through the yellow flag zone. And there's Reese Reed over the barrier. He's in a safe spot. The kart as well off the track. Racing can resume. And now we must see if Jamie Bradfield can close that 2-second gap against Sam Mitchell. 3 minutes left on the clock as they go through buttons. There in the orange is Rudy Winslow Morton. He's now up into 4th. Still looks to be struggling with a bit of back-end grip, but he's cracking on nonetheless as he goes up the Sturmey Straight just as the leaders head round Billy's Blind. Sam Mitchell opens the gap up a few tenths on that last time by. So it looks like Mitchell has this in hand for the moment. Still 2.5 minutes left on the clock. There in kart number 4 is Jamie Dart. He's up to 3rd spot as things stand. Good points towards the Wessex Challenge for all 4 of these drivers. Now into Billy's once again. There's Rudy Winslow Morton. Kart number 6. And there's the gap for the lead. Another 10th to the good for Sam Mitchell as they go into the chicane. Kart number 1 against kart 66. On the way out and up the Sturmey Straight they go. They're rounding the hand hairpin and into the horseshoe. 1st and 2nd. That gap visibly getting a little bit bigger, it looks like, as they go round top bend. And now down across the line. Sam Mitchell, another 36.0. He's been incredibly consistent this race. Jamie Bradfield, another 10th behind. Through the chicane they go. So after his troubles for earlier in the day, Bradfield will be more than thrilled with their 2nd place here this afternoon. There's Dart across the line in 3rd spot. Down in towards Billy's Blind, but through buttons go the leaders. You can see they've checked out somewhat as round top bend. There's Winslow Morton into Billy's Blind, and Sam Mitchell starting to range up on him. Another 36 flat from Mitchell. Phenomenal consistency, and he's been leading the race the entire time, been leading the day the entire time. And Jamie Bradfield doing all he can to stay with him at the moment. Now round the horseshoe they go. They're caught up almost with Rudy Winslow Morton at the moment. As you can see, Morton struggling with the rear end. Absolute barrel of laughs to drive, but it's not the quickest way around top bend. Cross the line again. Potentially 2 to go now for Sam Mitchell. Another 36.1, another 2 tenths to the good. Through the chicane they go. Winslow Morton ahead of Mitchell. Mitchell coming up to put a lap on him though. He's going to be seeing the blue flags any minute now. Yep, sure enough, there they go. And Winslow Morton going to leave the door open. Through goes Sam Mitchell, hand in the air, saying thank you to Rudy Winslow Morton for making that easy. Bradfield doing all he can to close in. As round top bend we go, on board with Jamie Bradfield. Heading now down the pit straight. Sam Mitchell ahead of us takes the last lap board. And now down into Billy's Blind go 3 karts. Through the chicane goes Mitchell. Then there's Winslow Morton and Bradfield. Down the Sturmey Straight and up into the Han hairpin. Get hooked into the camber there and then get a good exit. Now into the horseshoe goes Bradfield, but around buttons and up towards top bend. He's led the race since the start, qualified on pole this morning and takes the win this afternoon. Sam Mitchell crosses the line to take the victory of the Saturday of the Wessex Challenge. Jamie Bradfield 3 seconds back in a game 2nd place. Rudy Winslow Morton also crosses the line in 4th spot. And now we wait as Jamie Dart still on the lead lap, going around top bend. He'll be crossing the line to round out the top 3. There he is, kart number 4, round the final corner. And he's going to cross the line. He's happy with a 3rd spot. Now the juniors back into the pits. Hopefully a few lessons learned that will be improved upon for tomorrow as the juniors have their blue challenge round. There's the results. Sam Mitchell took the win, although Jamie Bradfield was 1/100th of a second faster in terms of fastest lap. Jamie Dart up in 3rd spot ahead of Rudy Winslow Morton, and then Reese Reed with some problems. They'll be hoping to fix those overnight. So you can see Pete's already out there. Going to get the kart back and get to work on it, I'm sure. What a shame though, it was 3 for the lead up until then. As back it goes. Up next though is the Senior Blues, including Tom Parker, who's gone out to help them get the kart back. They're going to be out for their Wessex Challenge final up next, and then the juniors will be back for their Sunday final coming up soon.